Manilau. I'm one of the 7 women who challenged this law and went to court last year. I thank the Fiji Women's Rights Movement and the Fiji Women's Crisis Center for this brave initiative in bringing our concerns to the court. Despite the laws that what's contained in our constitution and the ICCPR and CEDAW and whatever norms that go into our personal choice, our basic human rights, our basic women's rights, etc., there is also an emotion attached to this topic and subject. And with all due respect to these brilliant young lawyers who are present at in this room from the Secretary General and the Attorney General's office, it would have been appropriate for a leader or a member of parliament to be here to listen to at least the representatives of 50% of this population speak on behalf of those who cannot be here. I also speak for 7 of my married rounds women who are presently in a funeral, which is why I'm also in black, and they cannot be here, but asked me to speak on their behalf, and also the widows of our church. What really upset me and what I found totally despicable was that without consultation with the community or any decent time in Parliament to conduct a robust debate and interaction with each other, that for no reason at all and with great expense to our government, no opportunity for recourse, at the whim of one person, boom, our status changed. Nobody was consulted, nobody knew, and all of a sudden we had this huge boulder on our shoulders that we had to contend with, and we had to change, or we had to change both things, change our birth certificates and change the way we identified ourselves with the community. You know, it was very sad that if I look at this registration form, it was almost as if the young people think that life began with you all. There was life before you. This registration form only comes up to 45 years of age. Do we die at the age of 46? I'm 72. And there is no opportunity to show that I'm a 72-year-old woman present in this meeting. There are some very dangerous women sitting in the front seat there. Shamima Ali, look at them. Margaret Wangohonovono, young Georgina, 75. Salo Tengalo. People have stood up and been endangered with their life to speak on behalf of those who could not speak or was impossible to speak publicly. And yet there is no sense of ownership of these people, of the words that they spoke on behalf of the majority of the women in Fiji. And it's very sad that we were just discarded and just put aside. And I'm speaking emotionally here now, because there was no emotion in the law that was changed overnight for the women of this country. I think that I unfortunately had to change my birth certificate because of a situation that I had to fly out of this country and they wouldn't recognize my passport, which would expire in a few months. So I had to use the name on my birth certificate for 4 days, for a travel of 4 days. And I came back and I made the decision, I don't have long on this earth, so I will change my birth certificate with all due respect to my beautiful father and mother and the name that I was born with. But I also married a man that I loved very much. And I have history with him, more than I had history as a single young person. I have a history as a woman of the Rounds family. That gets discarded when you change your birth certificate. I don't know if you've seen the birth certificates that get changed, and all due respect to the births, deaths, and marriages lawyers and staff. They were most professional and very courteous. But it was a sad day for me to take away my birth certificate because I had NA practically in every line of that birth certificate. I had my new name, I had my father's name, his date of birth, my mother's name, his date of birth, but they had a history too. And my old birth certificate contained who they were from Tonga or from Fiji and what they did. He was a carpenter. She was a spinster. Who reported my birth? There's NA. Everything is NA. So we are non-entities as far as this government or our registration is concerned. We are single-celled, asexual, amoebic persona in the registration of our names and our persons. It falls short of info, and I really feel that there should be more thought put into this. I applaud the change of the law. I thank Nalini and members of the two iconic institutions for putting into place words that we could not possibly be able to construe. But I totally support what has been presented to you by the Fiji Women's Rights Movement, showing our age here, leaving the phones on, you know. And then we wish them all the best in whatever comes from this. And I will put into writing my submission as well. Thank you very much.